2 years ago, having 10,000 subscribers seemed to me like a pie-in-the-sky pipe dream. I just couldn't see myself with that big an audience. I was, however, confident that I was just going to keep making videos. The size of the audience didn't really matter to me. I just liked making videos. And I figured that as long as I enjoyed making videos for the sake of making videos, eventually I would get an audience of some kind. Sometimes when I would see that other channels had 10,000 subscribers, I'd be like, how the fuck did they do that? And sometimes their videos would be so good that I wondered if I would ever be able to measure up to that. As it turned out, getting as many subscribers as some of the YouTubers I admire was the easy part. I look at a lot of channels that actually have fewer subscribers than mine, and I still don't feel like I measure up to them. But I like that. I like that they still give me something to strive for. I had a lot of help growing this audience. I know I owe several thousand of my subscribers to shoutouts, and I was tempted to list everybody who gave me a shoutout, but there have been so many over the years that I'm sure I would leave somebody out. So I just want to give a blanket thank you to everybody who gave me a shout out and helped my channel out. And of course to the newer folks who saw my channel trailer in that big collab that we posted everywhere, welcome aboard. And I think when people reach these milestones, they should give shout outs. So I'd like to give a shout out to rdubwiley. He does videos about politics. And I know I've shouted him out before, but he still doesn't have as many subscribers as I think he deserves. And I'd like to give a shout out to AntiCitizenX. He does fantastic atheist videos. So check those channels out, and if you like them, subscribe. So thanks to everybody who is subscribed, and if you want to keep helping my channel out, just post my videos on your Facebooks and your Twitters and your Tumblrs and your Reddits, etc. And for the hell of it, here are some clips from some of my earlier videos. Some of these videos I haven't watched for years myself, so I thought it would be fun to sort of see my evolution. And thanks again. Hi, this video is a response to Haruka's video on racism and what she believes, I guess, what races are and the significance of race. D-Land and Cole has a video response to her video where he asks what her definition of a race is, and I'd like to hear the answer to that, but I have a more interesting question. I want to know, on a practical level, let's say you're right, let's say there are categories of people called races, and let's say they do have between races there are differences in aggregate aptitude. On a practical level, let's say you meet somebody that is of a race that you believe it has less aptitude than your race, and how do you interact with them? That's basically my question. How do you treat them? What kind of respect do you give them, or do you not give them, given that you may not know them as an individual or what their individual aptitudes are, but rather simply know their race? How do you treat them? If you're only attracted to members of your own gender, then your choices are either A, engaging in romantic relationships with members of your own gender that are loving, supportive, and fulfilling, or B, abandoning any hope for a romantic relationship and living the rest of your life in celibacy, loneliness, and misery. So maybe I can help explain to this lady why people seem to think that she hates gay people. If someone I knew was faced with this very choice and asked me for advice as to which they should choose, A or B, well, if I cared about them, I'd say choose A. But if I hated them, I'd say choose B. I have a lot of regrets about not going to the Reason Rally. I could have met a lot of really awesome people, and I could have met a lot of really not so awesome people like Eric Hovind, for instance. I did of course see the footage of the argument between Thunderfoot and Eric Hovind, and like a lot of people, I watched that and thought, you know, he could have made that argument a lot more clearly. Good day, comrades, especially my American comrades. Welcome to the world of socialized medicine, or at least the American facsimile thereof. Congratulations, the Supreme Court says it's constitutional. Although interestingly enough, it's not constitutional under the provision that the Obama administration said it was, the Commerce Clause, which gives the federal government the power to regulate commerce between the states. Rather, the Supreme Court argued it is constitutional under the Tax Clause.